I've been getting some feedback from the community on the fire rate. If we just spam the shoot button, we can shoot. But if we hold it down, it shoots at a lower rate. And it was uncapped. And the feedback that I got was that it should be capped at some rate so that people aren't incentivized to mash. It's not fun gameplay. And it's unhealthy for people to shoot that much. So the first thing I thought to do was obviously we just increase the fire rate, right? Because if we're going to make it so you can't mash, you just make that a little bit quicker, 0.2. So that's 4 shots every second. We might need to balance some of the enemies, but that's fine. The other thing as well, I noticed when I reviewed the code is that I actually intentionally put a spam here. So it basically says here, if event is action released, shoot, fire ready true. So every time you lift the shoot button, you can shoot again straight away. So I actually put that there myself. This is not something that was just sort of a bug or design. So like, that's pretty dumb. If I remove that, just put a pass there, we should just be going back to just a fixed rate. So we can't shoot any faster than that. And if we spam, it hurts us. It goes slower. So what we can do is we can basically just do a check. We can create a queue if we want to. Basically the same way that people do jump buffering, we can do for the shooting. So we can basically buffer that key press. And if it runs out here, like in this process function, we can check if like the queue is up and just fire a shot. So that way, like spamming the button doesn't necessarily reward you, but it's not going to feel worse. So you can do like basically the same thing as the fire rate remaining and the fire rate. You can set up a buffer. Fire, or let's just call it shoot buffer. And it's going to be a float and it'll be equal to, like, let's make it 0.05. And we'll make this an export variable. So I'll put this at the top. Actually, does it go above the constant? I don't know. I never know. And essentially what we'll do is if it's pressed, so we got the shoot buffer, so we can say if fire disabled, not fire disabled, if not fire ready. I got 2. Probably need to make them clearer. So we go that, and then basically we can set off a buffer. So we need a boolean as well. We've got a lot of these. Shoot bool equals true. Actually, no, that needs to be false by default. Shoot buffering. Shoot buffering equals true. And then we can basically, in the process function, we can say if shoot buffering, and then here we'll just do a little countdown. So we got the shoot buffer. Probably here we need another variable again. The shoot buffer time remaining. And I'm just realizing that this would be better if it was called shoot buffer time. And then this can be just called shoot buffer. And this is also a float. It can just be equal to 0 to start with. That works. And yeah, so we can just say shoot buffer time remaining. Minus equals delta. And once it's equal to 0, if shoot buffer time remaining is less than or equal to 0, and fire ready, can do that as 1. and fire ready. Then shoot. Else, shoot buffer. False. Actually, equals false. So if you're really close to getting that timing right, you shoot anyway. So shoot buffer false. I don't know if I've got this right. My head's spinning. So shoot buffer equals true. It gets set to false if the time is out. I feel like this is going to get set to false. Okay, so I reckon this needs to be separated out because they're not going to be true all the time. So if fire ready, we'll go with that. So if fire ready equals shoot, if fire ready then shoot, else obviously shoot buffer is false. And this goes here so that when the time runs out, shoot buffer gets set to false. Not if there is no time remaining, because then it would get set to false all the time. So that makes more sense. And shoot buffer equals true. Also, when shoot buffer... I'm saying that word way too much. If fire disabled return, fire ready false, shoot buffer also gets set to false here. Just as an extra... So that if we shoot, it gets set to false. I think. Let me test. I'm not feeling it. I'm shooting slower. I shouldn't shoot any slower if I spam the key. That's not working. I'm dumb. Shoot buffer equals true. No, that's fine. Fire ready equals true. So it should trigger here. Is it because this... Oh, you know what it is? This is within the... Is action pressed. So if fire ready shoot, and then... yeah, I guess we should say if not fire ready. And then that should just be counting down all the time, right? That needs a thing, eh? Oh. The save on that. Okay, now you can see that prints out. That makes way more sense. Okay. Okay. You guys can't see, but I'll bring this back over. My buffer is working now. So basically, there's not any benefit to spamming the key, and of course I never noticed that because when I had it set to be as when you release the press key, it gets set to true. That's funny. Okay, delete that print. The buffer time, the shoot buffer time, I think 0.05 is probably fine. I don't know. We'll have to play around with that. That feels pretty good. So that's that. Now let's look at some popcorn enemies. So